What's up, actors? Mike Moreno here from the Actor CEO podcast and actorceo.com. What are the future of self tapes? Things have evolved so quickly, and it's hard to tell where things are going to go next. So I sat down with casting director extraordinaire Michael Cassera, and in this clip from our interview, which you can find on the podcast anywhere you find podcasts, we talk about the future of self tapes, and Michael gives his insight. He's seen thousands of them, and he's seen them over a number of years and seen how they've changed. So he gives his perspective on where they go next and what actors need to be paying attention to. I hope you enjoy this clip and subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe, of course, to the channel to see more insight and interviews like this. I'll see you in the next one. What is your opinion on how this process might change the evolution of our casting process?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I hang on to the belief that theater auditions are meant to be live. Um, I am inspired, however, by the ability to cheat that when necessary.
Mm,
And I think that, I've been on board with it for a number of years now, but my directors and my producers and my artistic directors haven't entirely um been as warm to the idea. It's very, I mean, I get to go away after the auditions are done, right? they're
mm.
they're sitting there deciding, we're going to spend the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 2 years with this person.
Right,
It's very
right.
hard to make that kind of decision off of a video. You there's an aspect of theater is live, and you want to know kind of just what that vibe is in the room, how how your energies collide. And so I think that, that being said, we all were thrust into this new normal, and um people that I work with who were always completely against ever having anyone on tape are now far more open to it on the whole. So now I think the other thing is that I'm also seeing ways that I can expand the people I'm calling in. Again, if I mean, I regularly, for a lot of theater auditions, I'm getting upwards of 1,000 submissions for each role, depending on the project, sometimes far more, sometimes less. But I, have seen through this that, yeah, it's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to be just as time consuming to really study everything, but that's my job, so it's okay for it to be time consuming. So but I mean, the idea that I can now see more people kind of in a pre-screen manner and find more surprises in some small way, make this very tricky process a little more equitable. That's been a real eye-opening thing for me, and I've been working with self-tapes for at least 10 years in
Right.
one capacity or another. But I think that just being able to, I mean, having people on multiple continents sending in footage, it's very exciting, and it eliminates a lot of barriers, geography being one of them. I know plenty
Mhm.
of people who are some of the best actors I know, and they just, for whatever reason, they don't live in the market where the show's happening, but they'd be curious to do it if there
Exactly.
were interest. But that decision to spend on a plane ticket is not an easy decision, so I understand that. But now they have a chance to compete without making that financial investment, at least right up front,
Mhm.
or we can do it on their behalf for the right thing. So yeah, I think that where we're headed is a more open world. I do think, and I'll say this knowing that actors are the kind of majority of your listenership. I think we're going to need more cooperation from the unions. I think particularly Actors Equity has long, self-tapes have been permitted in most rule books when, at the actor's discretion, more or less.
Mhm.
Filming of auditions is almost always not permitted, with rare exceptions in
Mhm.
certain rule books. And I think we've moved past that, that phase of things. I will say that, I know there's always a concern on the union end to not set precedent. I think that self tapes help actors far more than perhaps some of the unions have acknowledged. Now, they've been very proactive and have helped us a great deal by allowing certain things like equity principal auditions and equity chorus calls to take place using a basic, self-tape procedure. I just think we need to expand that, and I think we need to do it collaboratively between the casting community, the union, and the union membership, the union leadership, the union staff, and the artistic director and
Mhm.
theater owner community. That I think we all need to find new ways, because as much as I want to provide and create audition opportunities, they're all relevant to budget. So I think
That's
that the
right.
more we can acknowledge that it's okay to self-tape, and it's okay with everyone's permission to let an actor be taped, obviously with full consent and awareness, that I think theater's just been behind. I mean, it's been the norm for film and television forever, and I think theater, we need to catch up a little bit. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm with you on that. Thank you so much for watching. For more great interviews, insight, and more, click the next video and be sure to subscribe.